everybody, and welcome to Power Pro Wrestling. I'm Jim Ross. I'll be your host for the next 60 minutes. Thank you very much for being with us. It's going to be a tremendous hour. We'll have Dr. S.D. Williams against Dick Murdoch inside a steel cage. That match from Oklahoma City. We'll also have a special look at Nature Boy Buddy Landell. We'll see Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer in action. We'll see the Rock and Roll Express go against the Freebirds right here on Power Pro Wrestling. A great match from the past. We'll also see the Fantastics in action, and we'll see Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton in a very special video produced by Joel Watts. A lot of exciting things going on. Later in this segment, we'll take a look at the exciting Nostalgia Night held recently in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we'll also take a look at two big championship matches. We have a new Mid-South Tag Team Champions and a new North American Heavyweight Champion. That's Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Let's go back in time and see just exactly how Hacksaw Jim Duggan won his first North American title.
I don't know how much longer Duggan can go. Those ribs are heavily bandaged. And Sawyer's relentless, but Duggan's fighting back. Double rib injury can always be very, very painful. It can be incapacitating. If there's one man that's tough enough to handle it, it's Hacksaw Jim Duggan. The Sawyer, that move right there, I guarantee you sent pain all through Duggan's body right there. With the ribs, that impact on the ground, Sawyer's suplexes are so powerful. And again, we see Sawyer going up to the top rope. Keep in mind, a disqualification could save the title for Buzz Sawyer. Sawyer on the top rope. He goes for it, but Duggan gets out of the way. Duggan. The spear! He got him! He got him with spear! Yeah! Hacksaw Duggan, the new champion! Hacksaw Duggan's won the title! The crowd loves it at the Miriam. We've got a new champion! Listen to him! Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the new North American Heavyweight Champion! The first time right there! This is fantastic. The people are just going wild. What a tremendous victory for Hacksaw Jim Duggan!
Well, Dick Slater wanted to manipulate Mid-South and run Mid-South, but what he's done is manipulated himself right out of the North American Heavyweight Championship. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the big man from Glens Falls, New York, with a great victory, and we're so very proud of that tremendous athlete. We'll be hearing from him, hopefully, later in the hour. Also, the Sheepherders have become the new Mid-South Tag Team Champions. They defeated Ted DiBiase and Dr. S.D. Williams in Oklahoma City. Let's show you exactly what happened in that match.
Now Doc with a front face lock. That hurts too. Oh, certainly does, especially when you got arms like Dr. Death. Now there's the tag. Now the champions are working their game plan. DiBiase and Doc have got their game plan going. A hard elbow. The fans are anticipating it. They just can't quite put them away, Joel. These guys are double tough. And DiBiase, they're fighting back again. These are the kind of guys that, I mean, their hair is, look at their wedding is, look at victory there waving the flag. Dr. Death took care of that. And they had all four of them in the ring. Body slam. DiBiase looks like he's going for the figure four. Yes, he has it. This will be over. Victory. Dr. Death is nailing victory. Wait a minute. Oh, no. He came right across his throat with that steel, that flagpole. That steel flagpole. It came right across DiBiase's throat from the top rope. Oh, no. Oh, no. Ted DiBiase is out. I hope he's not seriously injured. Look where he's getting all the way off the top rope. There's the decision. It looks like we have new tag team champions.
Well, I can't wait for the rematch. Ted DiBiase and Dr. S.D. Williams, they're really upset at this situation, and rightfully so. That's probably a gross understatement. the Sheepherders stealing the tag team championship. I want to be there when that rematch takes place. You know, ladies and gentlemen, recently in Tulsa on St. Patrick's Day, we had a tremendous crowd at the Fairgrounds Pavilion, and over the years, wrestling was at the Fairgrounds Pavilion every Monday night. And we're going to take a look at Nostalgia Night. We had a great Nostalgia Night with some of the big names that made Monday night at the Pavilion the hottest ticket in town. Some of the greats, including Cowboy Bill Watts, the longtime holder of the North American title, Grizzly Smith of the Kentuckians, the legendary Danny Hodge, perhaps pound for pound the greatest athlete in wrestling. Plus, we saw Mike Clancy, the former junior heavyweight champion, the great referee Leo Voss. We saw Wayne Martin, a great amateur and a professional, Ken Mantell, former junior heavyweight champion, and, of course, the legendary promoter Leroy McGurk was on hand. It was certainly great to see that tremendous gentleman back at the Pavilion. We also want to thank Chuck Bowman and so many more, Killer Carl Cox, that helped make Nostalgia Night a resounding success at the Fairgrounds Pavilion. And as we take our final look at Nostalgia Night, I want to remind you that we'll be right back with a special video on the Fantastics after our first time.
Get up in the mountains.
Fantastics. Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton in tag team action. But before we do, I want to remind you that they will be competing in the $1 million Jim Crockett Sr. Memorial Cup Tag Team Tournament on April the 19th in the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. That's going to be a tremendous, tremendous night of excitement. As a matter of fact, the matches that day will start at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for many of the opening rounds. Now, the phone number that you see on your screen, you can use if you live out of the state of Louisiana or if you live in the state of Louisiana. There's 2 numbers there that you can use for ticket information, more specifically to charge by using your credit card by calling those toll-free numbers. Now, before we see the Fantastics in action, let's hear from ZZ Top. Tush. This was produced by Joel Watts. It's a great video. And then right after that, we'll have the big match.
Man, it's hot out here, Tom. I wish somebody would come by and pick us up, man. I do too. You know, we got to get downtown. That's where all the girls are. You ain't lying, brother.
This event, one fall with a 10-minute time limit, a tag team match. In the red corner at 220 pounds, from Houston, Texas, Tommy Pritchard. and his partner at 225 pounds from Chattanooga, Tennessee, Pat Rose. In the ring, from the City of Angels, Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton, the Fantastic, the referee, Tony Torres.
Tag team action here on Mid-South, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much for being with us. We'll see the Fantastics go against Tommy Pritchard and Pat Rose here at our first encounter on Mid-South. There's the signal from referee Tony Torres, and Joe, we've got action.
Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers, extremely charismatic young men. Bobby Fulton with the arm drag there. These two guys are really well loved. But I'll tell you, both of them great amateur fundamental wrestlers, but they can really mix it up too. They can wrestle, fight, whatever you want. Fireman's carry like Tommy Rogers. Tommy Pritchard and Pat Rose, very able-bodied team that they're going up against. Both men are quick and agile. Rose in now. Tommy Rogers caught him with an arm drag. I think Pat Rose thought he was going to catch Tommy Rogers off guard, but that plan didn't pan out. Rose fires away with a right. Bobby Fulton's got him in that arm bar. Bobby Fulton with a hard shoulder smash. Fulton with the arm drag. The Fantastics has controlled the match thus far.
These two young men, the Fantastics, give new meaning to the word acceleration. But they operate on a different plane, ladies and gentlemen. They've taken Pat Rose to the mat. They got the arm bar on him.
Tommy Rogers, of course, a great fundamental wrestler, using that arm bar. To his advantage, Rose takes him to the ropes. Rose fires him off. Rose misses the elbow. Tommy Rogers with a flying body press. Tony Torres down for the count, but only a count of two. Pat Rose kicked out of the lateral press. Pritchard and Rose double teaming there in the corner. They managed to gain some momentum on Tommy Rogers. Pritchard with a hard kick to the midsection.
Pritchard and Rose keeping their opponents in their half the ring. Excellent tag team strategy. They're slowing the tempo down. They're taking over on the Fantastics.
Well, anytime they can slow the tempo down, they're definitely getting the Fantastics out of their match. Pat Rose missed, hit the turnbuckle. Tommy Rogers makes the tag. Bobby Fulton in now. Two hard right crosses. Tommy Pritchard trying to attack Bobby Fulton from behind, but Bobby Fulton, such an excellent wrestler. Fulton with the right. All four men in the ring now. Tony Torres trying to straighten it out. Double arm whip. A hard collision between Rose and Pritchard. Tommy Rogers drop kick. Rose up the second rope.
A tremendous maneuver by the Fantastics. Great teamwork. This fine young team. They're on fire here in the Mid-South.
Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton, the Fantastics, with a victory here on Power Pro Wrestling. Again, they're entered in the Jim Crockett Sr. Memorial Cup Tag Team Tournament, and we wish them the very best of luck. Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, we're going to see another team that is seated extremely high in this tournament, the Rock and Roll Express. In a match from the past, going against the fabulous Freebirds. We'll have it for you after this timeout from the Denver.
70 pounds from Bad Street, USA, Michael Hayes and Buddy Roberts, the fabulous Freebirds. And in the ring, at 425 pounds, from Nashville, Tennessee, Ricky Martin and Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express.
What a great, great main event this is going to be. I'm really pleased to be able to bring it to you on Power Professional Wrestling. I feel privileged to be the commentator of this match with Boyd Pierce leaving the ring. This match is about to get underway. Fergie calling for the bell. Robert Gibson and Buddy Roberts about to tie up. You know, Gibson firing Roberts off with a hip toss. Dirty Dutch Mantell out there scouting for Rock and Roll Express. You know, Boyd, it seems like nowadays we're living in the youth of America is kind of in a somewhat of a rebellious nature, and people like to sometimes get behind the people who use a few underhanded tactics to get ahead now and then. But I'll tell you something, I don't condone cheating in the ring in any way. It can be dangerous to the athletes themselves. You see Buddy Roberts out there complaining that his hair was pulled, but I didn't see any hair pulling involved in that. Robert Gibson's a fine wrestler.
Joel Watts, I'll tell you, there's not a person in this building that's not for one team or the other. That's for sure.
Well, it's definitely a great matchup of athletic skill. But I'm convinced that the Rock and Roll Express can handle just about any tag team in the nation today. They've looked very impressive against some of the top teams. Robert Gibson firing Buddy Roberts off into the ropes. A hard shoulder smash. The fans are really buzzing. There's a lot of electricity in the air. But as you can imagine here in the surroundings of Irish McNeil Boys Club, and the main event in progress. Oh, yeah! Nice move by the Rock and Roll, and they just hammered Michael Hayes as he was on the ring apron.
And the important thing, Joel, is they came right back to the legal man in the ring, which is Buddy Roberts, instead of ignoring him.
Oh, definitely. The Rock and Roll Express, they're flashy, and they're all the clothing and the rock and roll music and everything. But when they get in that ring, brother, it's all business. There's no two ways about it. Rock and Roll Express again, hammering Michael Hayes. Gibson with the tag. Roberts makes the tag as well, and now we've got two fresh men in the ring, Ricky Morton and Michael Hayes. Ted DiBiase and Dr. have said that if the Rock and Roll Express cannot beat the Freebirds, that they will not give them a title shot. And there could be some validity to that statement, as if the Rock and Roll Express lose a match here in the near future, they won't be in top contention for the Mid-South Tag Team titles and may not get that rematch. DiBiase and Dr. will do anything they can to prevent the Rock and Roll Express from getting a rematch. But that remains to be seen, as I haven't seen the Freebirds mount one single aggressive maneuver thus far in the match. Of course, you can't count them out. They're great competitors, boys.
They certainly are, and nowhere in any professional sport, Joel, will you see as much exciting action as that you and the fans and myself are viewing right at this moment.
No question about it. Michael Hayes managing to gain a modicum of momentum there against Ricky Morton, but Ricky with a single leg takedown. Beautiful maneuver on Ricky Morton's part. Oh, Michael Hayes using the ropes there.
Well, Michael Hayes has been doing more damage on the outside of the ring than he has when he gets inside.
Well, like I said, boys, when a team feels that they can't beat you in a clean wrestling match, and they've got to resort to questionable tactics such as that, that's when I draw the line. I know commentators are supposed to be unbiased, but as you might have already guessed, I'm for the rock and roll in this situation. I want to see them get those Mid-South Tag Team titles back. This is a very, very key match in their career. Double elbow. And Michael Hayes strutting his stuff. He's got a reason to. He's got one of the toughest men in tag team wrestling down on the mat and in a predicament. But you better watch it, Michael. You better stay on the attack. Keep pressing him. Otherwise, Ricky Morton will surprise you. He'll hurt you. He's a fighter. Michael Hayes with a rear back press. The lateral press. He got Ricky Morton for a 2 count. That was close. Whoa, Ricky really slammed hard into the foot of Buddy Roberts. Buddy now trying to keep Robert Gibson from making that tag, but Roberts back in and he's hot. Carl Fergie putting him out, though. This could be a disadvantage on the Rock and Roll Express's part as Michael Hayes sees that the referee is out of position and takes every advantage of it. Buddy Roberts for the Bulldog headlock, but Ricky Morton fires him off. Beautiful move by Ricky Morton. Ricky's struggling up to a base now. He needs to make that tag, and yes, he gets it. Ricky Morton gets the tag. Robert Gibson in now. A hard arm whip to the turnbuckles, and he blasted Michael Hayes. He blasted and Michael Hayes spaghetti-legged. Buddy Roberts reverses an arm whip. Robert Gibson's behind into the rope. Sunset flip. Carl Fergie's turned though. Carl Fergie out of position. Over the top rope goes Robert Gibson. Carl Fergie sees him, calls for the disqualification. A disqualification. Robert Gibson returning the gesture in time. Double drop kick. Double drop kick. They got Roberts down. The match is over and Robert Gibson makes a 3 count. They put Buddy Roberts down. They're the winners of the match by disqualification. They'll get that rematch with DiBiase and Dr.
And now, Joel, let's go back to Jim Ross in the studio.
Victory via disqualification for the Rock and Roll Express. And next week here on Power Pro Wrestling, our featured main event will be the Rock and Roll Express versus the Midnight Express for the World Tag Team titles. Please join us again next week here on PPW for that tremendous matchup. Remember, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson will be in the $1 million tournament. And I want to remind everybody that this tournament will be live in the Superdome. As a matter of fact, so many of the teams are planning on being in New Orleans early, some as many as 3 or 4 days early prior to that tournament, getting ready for competition on April the 19th. We'll be right back with a look at the Nature Boy, Buddy Landell, after this time.
1 fall or 10-minute time limit in the red corner. At 230 pounds from Los Angeles, the California Nature Boy, Buddy Landell. Across the ring, in the blue corner, 222 pounds, the pride of Montague County, Texas, Johnny Mantell.
Johnny Mantell will be going against Nature Boy Buddy Landell here on Mid-South Wrestling. 1 fall or a 10-minute time limit. Referee Pee Wee Anderson calls for the bell, and Joel, this should be a great match. 2 men, I think, very evenly matched. Buddy Landell, the opportunist. Johnny Mantell, a very sound fundamental wrestler.
Very sound fundamental wrestler indeed, Johnny Mantell. He comes from a great wrestling family. His father, Ken Mantell, who, like him or love him, was a very great professional wrestler in his own right. And Buddy Landell, well, he can't always back up with what his mouth has got to say. But, brother, he's a tough competitor.
Well, he has improved a tremendous amount. We're right behind taking Mantell down. Mantell setting out.
Nice move by Mantell. Hit him with a big shoulder block. Oh, that Mantell is so quick. He caught Buddy Landell for a 2 count.
Great drop toe hold by Mantell. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know if they can keep up this pace for 10 minutes. They are really buzzing in this capacity crowd at the Irish Manille Boys Club. Very enthusiastic.
Johnny Mantell with a hammerlock. Asking Buddy Landell if he wants to give up. He goes into that half Nelson along with that hammerlock. And boy, that is a tough hole to get out of right there. Buddy Landell's got his hands full, but he, with that tremendous strength of his, manages to keep that shoulder blade off the mat.
Mantell looking for something to grab and extricate himself from this hammerlock that Mantell has applied, isn't it?
Landell, ooh. Using the point of that elbow, he got out. That was illegal.
Another great drop toe hold, Mantell. Buddy Landell both lightning quick. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, the television title will be on the line. Terry Taylor will attempt to turn back the challenge of the exotic one, Adrian Street. It is for the television title, and it is coming up next.
What a great match that's going to be between two great technical wrestlers. Obviously, very different personalities and tactics between the two, but both very sound fundamental wrestlers. And Johnny Mantell, a fundamental wrestler himself, still working away at that hammerlock. He obviously has a sound game plan in mind already.
Well, as much national television exposure as Mantell and Landell both have had. Both men should have extensive scouting reports on their opponent. Mantell and Landell standing up, standing position. Mantell trying to turn into his man. But Mantell has got that hammerlock arm really grapevine. You can hear Mantell, or Landell rather. Ooh!
Boy, Johnny Mantell taking a right fist to the side of the head, says, brother, if you want to fight, I'll give you all you want. Shows that Texas heart and spirit. Buddy Landell's got a tough cut. Oh, he raked the eyes of Johnny Mantell just then. To break that hold, seems like he's got to hedge those rules. Take that shortcut every once in a while to get where he's going. But boy, you can't doubt his effectiveness one bit. Irish whip into the turnbuckle.
Landell moved out of the way very quickly. And now Johnny Mantell. It is obviously a great deal of trouble. Buddy Landell kicking away at the head. And the flat of the foot is legal.
Well, Landell knows that he's got to use that aggressiveness. Johnny Mantell fires back with a big right hand after taking that forearm. Johnny Mantell's got a high threshold of pain, but a bigger heart.
Mantell now perhaps attempting to slow the pace down somewhat, and it has been a blistering pace thus far.
Both men in fine condition. Excellent condition, I should say. Mantell breaking that rear chin lock with elbows and a forearm. Reverse Irish whip into the turnbuckle. Mantell ducks the elbow, but comes back with a knee.
Hitting predicament. 1, 2, and it landed right on the referee.
Looked like he hit his knee right into the kidney area of Pee Wee Anderson, and poor little Pee Wee at 101 pounds is down in a lot of pain.
Mantell got something out of his tights. Mantell had something out of his tights there.
Landell had something in his tights, Jim. He just pulled Johnny Mantell with it. I couldn't see quite what it was, Jim, but it looked like some type of foreign object.
Well, Buddy Landell definitely had something from those tights. And there you see the winner, Nature Boy Buddy Landell, in controversial fashion as usual. And we'll be back.
The arrogant Nature Boy Buddy Landell with a victory here on Power Pro Wrestling. Now, Buddy Landell and his partner, Superstar Bill Dundee, have also been accepted as entrants to the $1 million tag team tournament. And they'll also be making an appearance in upcoming weeks on the Universal Wrestling Federation We hope that you will join us for that action as well. They're going to be a very formidable team to contend with. In just a moment, we'll be right back with perhaps one of the toughest men in all of professional wrestling, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, after this from the network.
10-minute time limit. In the blue corner, Don Turner. And stalking the ring in the red corner, the Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer. Your referee.
I got something to say here. I want you to listen, and I want all these stupid people here to listen. You know something? First of all, I started out on a tour. I went to New York, but I found out that was no fun because there was no competition. I slapped Hulk Hogan and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I said, no wonder you're here, because this is third rate. Then I went down to Atlanta, Georgia. I went down to Atlanta, Georgia, and I whipped everybody, and they got rid of me because I'm so tough. And everywhere I've ever been in the world, I hear the name Jim Duggan. Well, Duggan, hey, tough guy, come and find a Mad Dog because I know what it's like to be slapped. I know what it's like to have my nose upside down. I know what it's like to be beat up because I like to get beat on because then I get me in nasty. And when I get beat up, you sister. Then when I get beat up, I get beat up more and more. Then I start beating up. So hey, tough guy, get yourself there. Reach down in that heart of yours and show me what you got. Because if you ain't got no more than these people's got, you got a big dinner ahead of you. The Mad Dog will come and chew you up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer with those comments and that deadly, deadly dog collar chain. The chain's deadly, of course, but I'll tell you, Joel, some of those comments, it's like he went in and out of coherentness. This man is, well, there's none like him.
I don't think he's playing with a full deck, to be quite honest with you. And he's trying to get Don Turner to... Whoa! He fires Turner's head into the turnbuckle. It looked like he was trying to get Turner to put that dog chain around his collar, and Turner would have to be more nuts than Sawyer in order to do that. There he goes to the snap mare, and I don't think we're going to see Sawyer give Turner any surcease in this match. High vertical suplex. This man is so rough and rugged, and as I said earlier in the hour, he, like Jim Duggan, has no regard for his own personal safety. As he was saying there,
Ripping at the face. He is a mad dog. He's like a pit bull. He's going for the kill. And look at that.
he's rubbing Turner's face in the mat and still calling for Duggan at the same time.
Well, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, ladies and gentlemen, is not here at this television studio, or if he would be, I will assure you, Joel, he would definitely be at ringside, if not in the ring.
I agree wholeheartedly, Jim. And, bro, when that confrontation comes around, there is just, I don't know if any arena in the country is going to be able to hold down. Oh, my goodness.
That, you talk about a drop kick that tearing somebody's head off. He has got, there's not a weapon in his arsenal that he has not mastered. And right back again, he's not trying to pin anybody right now, Joel. He just wants to hurt somebody. That is his whole bag. That's his whole situation with Buzz Sawyer.
Well, he's just about decapitated Turner. There's that power slam, and I'm glad, because I'm telling you, Don Turner practically decapitated there with that drop kick.
Well, two very interesting points about what we've just seen. Number one, I think you'll agree with me, perhaps the most vicious drop kick that any of us have ever seen. Secondly, since that match, we haven't seen hide nor hair of young Don Turner. Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer is a double tough man, no doubt about it. And I've talked to Hacksaw Jim Duggan in the confidence on many occasions. He will attest to that Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer is one of the toughest men in professional wrestling. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, we're going to come back with another man that, in my opinion, is the toughest man in professional wrestling today. Dr. Death, Steve Williams, against the Rowdy Texan, Dick Murdoch. This one, inside a steel cage, right here on Power Pro Wrestling, coming up next.
Descent behind Steve Dr. Death Williams. as he's going against Captain Redneck, Dick Murdoch, here at the Oklahoma City Marriott. Killer Carl Cox is the special referee. Obviously, this match is taking place inside of a steel cage. These stipulations were added because of the long track record that Murdoch has of disqualifications and the masked superstars coming in and helping him in times when he's in a predicament. And Murdoch is just hammering Doc with those rights. But Doc came back with one of his own and staggered Murdoch. Both of these men are tremendous raw-boned street fighters and athletes. Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch with an edge in professional wrestling ring experience. And I think Steve Dr. Death Williams has the edge in raw athletic ability. Of course, Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch is a fantastic athlete as well. He has tremendous reach, unbelievable stamina. As Murdoch reverses the arm whip, elevates Dr. Death. As I was saying earlier, the people here at Oklahoma City are 100% behind Steve Dr. Death Williams. And of course, Murdoch, 100% a Texan. And in Oklahoma City, that's a serious rivalry, as many of you know. As Doc goes after Murdoch, Murdoch trying to get out of the cage and leave Doc. I think he sensed that Doc was getting the upper hand on him, and Dr. Death is just about to pull the tights off of Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch. This is on the verge of being an X-rated sport of professional wrestling. Good golly. Steve Dr. Death Williams with a power slam off the top rope. The crowd here at the Oklahoma City Marriott is loving every minute of it, as Steve Dr. Death Williams now has Captain Redneck in a deep predicament, and I think Captain Redneck knows it, if he can think that clearly at this point. Doc just hammered him. Dr. Death urging Murdoch to get up and fight. I think that shows a little bit of inexperience on Dr. Death's part, because he should have gone in there, in my opinion, and attacked Murdoch. But of course, Doc is out there and he knows what he's up against. Murdoch is a lethal competitor, and Murdoch might just be trying to lull Doc into a false sense of security at this point. You see Killer Carl Cox, the special referee. A long history of animosity between Murdoch and Cox. Murdoch had attacked Steve Williams early in the match, right off the bat, lacerating his head on the steel cage. And Murdoch, you see, he's fighting back, nailing him with lefts and rights. And I think that was probably the case. Murdoch, I think, might have been trying to lull Steve into a false sense of security, try to get him in there close and hit him while he's unsuspecting. In any event, Murdoch again has the upper hand. As we see the momentum shift a second time here in the closing moments of this match. Once again, the chant of OU, OU starts up for Steve Dr. Death Williams. He gets so much help from the fan support. Murdoch looks like he's going to his tights for something. Murdoch looks as if he may have pulled something from his tights. Killer Carl Cox was preoccupied with Steve Williams. Murdoch sets to fire away, but Cox catches him. A wily move on the part of a great veteran in professional wrestling. Steve Williams getting up slowly, and Murdoch tried to get Cox. Oklahoma Stampede, Doc caught him. Doc caught him, the Oklahoma Stampede. Cox down for the count, 1, 2, and 3. Steve Williams has defeated Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch, a landmark victory in the career of Williams. Let's go back to Jim Ross.
Dr. Death Steve Williams from University of Oklahoma with a tough victory over the rowdy Texan from Waxahachie, Dick Murdoch. And I know that victory was great for Dr. Death, but it was extremely hard to swallow for Dick Murdoch. He doesn't like anything about anybody from University of Oklahoma, seeing as though he is an avid University of Texas fan. And Dick Murdoch, without a doubt, went down very decisively to Steve Dr. Death Williams. That match taking place in the beautiful Myriad Center from Oklahoma City. Joel Watts doing a great job with commentary. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back in just a few moments, I'll have some information on next week's program and another quick look at the Jim Crockett Sr. Memorial Cup Tag Team Tournament after our final network timeout.
Oh! Yay! Dr. Death Williams! Ted DiBiase, come and try again, Yanks! Come and try again against the sheepherders! Come and let the Yankee people see you laying down in the middle of the ring like you were when the sheepherders defeated you for the tag team champions! Come and let the Yankees wave the Yankee flag in the air, and no reason, because down goes the Yanks, and up goes the New Zealand flag with the belt still on the New Zealand sheepherders' shoulders.
New England sheepherders, you come into our backyard, rob us from our trophies, from our gold, from our belts, something that we take a lot of pride of. And then you come into our homes, and you take something, you wave your flag across the United States of America, where all those people out there are all Americans. And then you come down, and you take a flagpole, and you start ramming it.
Call yourself champions. You shove a flagpole down my throat, you knock me out, and you take the belts. Well, if that's the way you want to do it, we'll get down and we'll do it that way. You ask anybody in Mid-South, you ask anybody in the country, who can get nastier than Dr. Death Steve Williams and Ted DiBiase? Nobody. And when you got something that belongs to us, we'll get as nasty as we got to get.
You better believe it's going to be wild and woolly Monday night. Rock and Roll Express return to go against the Midnight Express. All this action. We hope that you'll join us. Now, the big Superdome Extravaganza, $1 million tag team tournament. The numbers you see on your screen are applicable, ladies and gentlemen. Those are free calls for ticket information. If you'd like to charge, use your credit card, you can use those telephone numbers. And in just a few moments, we're going to let you hear more about the $1 million tournament. But whatever you do, don't miss the return of Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. They're so excited about coming home and trying to regain the tag team titles. And right now, let's hear a special announcement about wrestling's greatest event.
Saturday night, April 19th, the Superdome will be the site of the biggest live wrestling event in history. See in person the top 20 teams in wrestling compete for a $1 million prize in the first Jim Crockett Sr. Memorial Cup Tag Team Tournament. Teams signed and scheduled to compete live in the Dome include the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, Dusty Rhodes, the Magnum TA, the Road Warriors, the Mid-South Tag Champions, the Russians, and much more. These great teams, along with many others, will battle for the $1 million prize live in the Dome. Tickets for this event go on sale at all Ticketmaster outlets on Monday, March 10th. Get your tickets early.
Everybody, a quick look at next week's program here on Power Pro Wrestling. It's going to be one of the most awesome hours that we've ever produced. You're going to see the World Tag Team titles on the line. The Rock and Roll Express will go against the Midnight Express. You'll also see a rematch for the Mid-South Tag Team titles. Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death going against the Sheepherders right here next week on Power Pro Wrestling. We'll also see a new video on the Blade Runners and a whole lot more, including the Fabs, Stan Lane and Steve Kern, going against the Guerreros inside a steel cage. It's going to be a great hour, focusing again on tag team competition as everyone gets ready for April 19th. Now, I want to remind you that these matches will be live in the Superdome. They're going to start at 2 o'clock with the early rounds. Some of the great teams will be announced that will be competing in the early rounds. I do remind you that's a $10 ticket for the whole afternoon session. First come, first serve. The phone numbers that you see on your screen, you can use. They're toll-free for ticket information. And we'll have more on that next week. It's going to be a great hour. Please join us. Thank you very much for being with us here today on Power Pro Wrestling. For our whole crew, I'm Jim Ross saying have a great week.